If you know the town of Strasburg, you probably know the last name Mulaski. Yeah, Mr. Mulaski has been a science teacher in that town for a lot of years, but did you know his first name's Bill? Well, it's true, and he's been teaching for a very long time, and as reporter Taylor Rawson tells us, Bill says it's time for him to step away.
1 year in Cooperstown, 33 years in Wishick, and 16 years in Strasburg, Bill Mulaski has been teaching in total for 50 years. Growing up, Mr. Mulaski had a hard time in science class. However, when he was in 8th grade, he had a teacher believe in him and helped him understand anatomy. This inspired Mr. Mulaski to become a teacher himself. He has taken that lesson in life and applied it to his students today.
You know, I like to see a lot of growth taking place in my kids and also their success. And then I'm actually part of that success, and that's what's important. And they'll come back and they'll talk to me about it, and so it really motivated me to continue on.
One of Mr. Mulaski's former students, Angie Vleem, went on to be a radiologic technologist at the Wishick Hospital. She says her success in life is all because of him.
I did not realize it until I graduated and went to college that, wow, he gave me the tools and the know-how to break down any subject, any chapter, whether it's science or not science related, and get the information that I need out of a textbook and out of a lecture.
Just like Mr. Mulaski was inspired by his teacher in middle school, one of his former students was inspired by him to also become a teacher.
He's one who really kind of sparked my interest in teaching. I went into science, and he was a great mentor for me when I started teaching science here. I really got to be able to call him a friend.
Over the years, Mr. Mulaski has received many acknowledgments for his remarkable teaching abilities. He has received Coach of the Year several times for his participation in the Science Olympiad. In 2005, Mr. Mulaski was the recipient of a Golden Apple Award. There have also been several awards given to him as the SRC Director of the Science Fair. Mr. Mulaski is well known for his students' work at the local science fairs.
Going to my son's science fair a year ago, walking around, looking at the projects, and yes, they were good, but they weren't Mr. Mulaski good. He expects you to go above and beyond. He knew what your limits were, and he'd push you for that.
Now that he has worked beside Mr. Mulaski, Weist says some of his favorite memories have been those they have spent at the International Science Fair together.
A lot of times we'd be spending 17 hours on a bus together, chaperoning kids, and so it was a lot of cramped hours together. Going into it, it seems like a lot of work, but once you see the reward that the kids are getting, it makes it worth it. And I really have to thank him for keeping me interested in that and seeing the payoff.
Mr. Mulaski says that his biggest motivator has been watching his students achieve success.
When I get some of the students to come back and show me they're a doctor, show me they're a nurse, and all of those types of activities and jobs, that's what's brought me, keeps me there.
Shelley Glazman with the class of 2000 in Wishick gave a letter to Mr. Mulaski thanking him for motivating her through those years. Part of the note read, quote, "Mr. Mulaski is a one-in-a-million teacher, and undoubtedly had he not prepared me in the way he did in high school, nursing school would have been nearly impossible for me."
I mean, he's retiring now after 50 years. Do you want to say something to him?
I'd just like to thank him for not just me, but for teaching all the kids that he has. I mean, he's taught for a lot of years, and I think there's more than one kid that he's probably sparked an interest and love of science with.
You are the end of an era. You have taught and inspired so many of us, and for that, I know myself and other classmen will forever be grateful.
For 50 years, Mr. Mulaski has inspired and instilled a love of science in his students. And from all of us at KX News, we wish Mr. Mulaski a happy retirement. For KX News, I'm Taylor Rawson.
Mr. Mulaski's last day of teaching at Strasburg will be May 18th, and he says he and his wife plan to take a little time do a little retirement vacationing and spend more time with their grandkids. So that sounds like some good plans up ahead for those two.